Hi, from Amanda Rogers and Maci Greene, we thank you for joining us today for our virtual presentation, A Day in the Life of DRS. We hope you enjoy. Before we get started, this illustration may be a helpful way to keep the acronym straight. DARS, which stands for the Department of Assistive and Rehabilitative Services, is a large federal organization with many stems. You can think of it as an overarching umbrella over several smaller divisions. For our project, we met with Janice East, who is a representative for DRS, which stands for the Department of Rehabilitation Services, which is one of those smaller divisions. We asked Mrs. East to briefly describe to us the 5 branches covered by DARS. Take a moment to look at each of them. Janice was able to tell us a little more about both of these organizations. While DARS is a federal organization that provides many services for people with disabilities or developmental delays to pursue independent and productive lives, the focus of DRS is specifically to help find jobs for people who need it. Janice explained to us that the people who receive services may have a physical or mental disability, a chronic illness, or who have experienced traumatic injury. They really can help anyone who has a condition that hinders their ability to obtain a job. We were curious how people in the community find out about their organization. That's part of Janice's job. She is the contact representative for high schools. That is to say, she connects students graduating high school to jobs in the area. There are more specialists throughout the community as well who focus on clients at the different points of need, such as people in hospitals with severe injuries or chronic illnesses. Additionally, DRS does community outreach to inform the public about the services available to them. Since, as we all know, nothing in life is truly free, we inquired of Janice how DRS is funded. She said that DARS, as a whole, is a national program, so they receive most of their funding from the government. That applies to their smaller branches as well, including DRS. However, in Texas, we receive funding from the state government as well. As you can see on the pie chart, 20% of our funding is from the state and 80% is from the federal government. By their cooperation, we can ensure that this program is as successful as it can possibly be. Just how far are the bounds of service for Janice and her co-workers? We figured there had to be more divisions since Texas is such a huge state. Janice said that Texas is actually split up into 11 different regions. Our Brazos Valley is part of Region 7. However, the local DRS office does not just serve the Brazos. They also help out Burleson County, Grimes County, and Leon County. Here's a picture showing the 11 regions of Texas. As I mentioned, Brazos County is part of Region 7. If you're curious where other counties fall, click the link above to find out. Of course, DRS is not responsible for finding jobs for everyone in the community. We asked Janice what criteria they used to make that determination. She said that when someone comes to DRS for services, there's a 4-step eligibility process they must go through before they may receive services. First, they must establish that there is a condition present. Naturally, the DRS wants to use the resources on the people who need them most. Second, the condition is an impediment to employment. This means the person who is applying has a disability or condition that directly influences their ability to obtain a job. Step 3. There are available services to provide. That is to say, the DRS has resources that can benefit the client directly. Step 4, the final step, is the presumption that employment will occur. The DRS will keep looking for jobs until they find one, as long as it is reasonable to assume that it can and will happen. After determining who receives services, we asked Mrs. East what employees help what clients. As you can see, many people are qualified for services, but not all for the same reasons or with the same needs. This is why different counselors are tasked with finding jobs for specific types of cases. Janice is specifically in charge of transition cases. Usually, this means working with students with disabilities who are graduating from high school and needing a job. Her clientele is generally young for the spectrum. She informed us that the DARS office as a whole supports clients who are between the ages of 18 and 60. Since the DRS serves such a specific and necessary purpose, we inquired of Mrs. East if there are any other similar service providers. She responded by telling us that in the Brazos Valley, no one provides the comprehensive services that the DRS does. However, DRS does partner with organizations like Brazos Valley Center for Independent Living and the Department of Aging and Disability Services. It is not uncommon for one client to be helped achieve the same goal by several different organizations. Janice seemed really passionate about her job. We asked her to tell us a little bit about her personal day. She said that from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., she visited schools in Bryan and College Station ISD to explain services to students and help them apply for services with DRS. After 11 a.m., she returns to her office and processes paperwork. Around 1 p.m., she returns back to the schools to continue talking to students to let them know about services available and help them out in whatever way she can. After school is out, she returns back to her office to work on paperwork some more and continue the search for a job for the students. This is a very rewarding job. Without a doubt, Janice is well qualified to handle such an essential part of the branch. We asked what experience it would take for someone to work for the DRS. Janice told us that most people applying for the position with the DRS must have a master's in rehabilitation counseling. However, in some rural areas, the DRS will hire people with just a bachelor's degree. Mrs. East had both a bachelor's degree and also 16 years working in child protective services. A lot of people working at the DRS now had previous experience with the CPS or food stamps before starting. One of our favorite questions was what advice Miss East had for the educational professionals. She told us over and over again to be honest with people and be clear. She couldn't stress that enough. Her next piece of advice is to not set unrealistic goals for students, which is what she describes as the biggest struggle for teachers. Setting realistic expectations from the get-go is what is truly most beneficial for the students. She told us that often people with disabilities come to the DRS expecting that they will be a doctor or a nurse, when in reality, sometimes the disability is too severe for that to be a practical option. When Janice gets into these situations, she feels like the DRS has to be the bad guys who tell a kid they can't reach their goal. She said that it would be best if teachers would help them work towards attainable goals for each student. That being said, she emphasizes that this does not mean limiting the child or setting low expectations for them. Thank you for watching our presentation. We hope that it was enjoyable and informative. A special thank you to Janice East for her time and cooperation with us. Feel free to ask us any questions and we'll respond to them in the next few days. Have a great day.